another episode of FML, and right where I left off on the last video is where this video will start. We're going to tackle that control arm and get that switched and hopefully take this thing for a ride. I'm not going to change every component in this video. I'm just going to get that lower control arm and just make this thing movable, because right now it's not. Let's get to work. Wheel off so we can assess our damage a little bit more. None of this got damaged, so we're good there. We just gotta get a new fender liner. I'll just get a new plug. We'll go to Mercedes and get a new plug for that. We definitely need to clean that junk out, and I assume this is why the majority of them rust, is a lot of crap builds up in there and just rots it out. That's sad. Over here, none of our lines are damaged. Brake hose looks good. I don't know if this got wobbled out or what the deal is there. Tie rods look good. And then here's our culprit there. But yeah, it just broke right off. Look at that. And it just shaved our wheel. Our wheel is shot. I'm going to assume our tire is shot. Hopefully that back tire, or the spare tire, holds air. Over here you can see all the damage that was done. I'm assuming this is our fog light wiring. Hoses look good. We'll get another shield for the bottom. Alright, let's see if we can get this control arm off. Alright, we got our tie rod end off, and we got our inner ball joint, or lower ball joint if you will. That was rusty, so I'm gonna guess that in conjunction with rust and that trauma from being hit just sealed the deal for this thing. Just look at that. Just full of rust. I got my Harbor Freight jack stand. Faith is in that. We're gonna crawl underneath here, get the shield off, and then we got 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. Then we'll jack this up, and I'm hoping I have enough leverage here that I don't have to get a spring compressor out on it. I don't even know where my spring compressor is. Well, let's crawl underneath. Alright, we got our control arm off. My face is still intact. And here's what we got going on here. Yep, let's throw that out. But let's get that new arm in, and a lot of us going on. Looks like I'm gonna have to find my spring compressor because there was a little bit more tension, and like, I don't know. Let's see if I can make it work. We'll do a time lapse of it so you guys can see me take my face out. Alright, sorry I didn't turn the camera back on. But I had some technical difficulties with the lower ball joint. There's like a little pin right here. Well, that broke off and was inside the shackle assembly here, hub assembly if you will, and yeah, so I had to take all this stuff off, drill out the hole because I couldn't get it. There's a little nub that was left on it, and I couldn't grab onto it to twist it off. It was rusted in there pretty good. So I was pretty frustrated after that, but we got everything tightened, everything's installed. I got the inner fender liner, if you will, off. Cleaned up some of the gunk that was in there, but yeah, you can see right here, these all rust out right here, and just crap piles up in there. I'm not sure what these manufacturers are thinking when they come up with this design, but Mercedes, you've been building cars long enough, you should know better by now. The spare tire ended up having a giant hole in it, and honestly I'm not even surprised. So somehow this wheel is holding air, and I'm gonna throw it back on there temporarily, and we're gonna go to the storage unit and grab another set of wheels because I like to keep all my Mercedes wheels. So we're gonna put this nicely machined wheel back on the car, and go for a drive. It's on all 4 of its wheels and one's not all jacked up. It looked a lot worse. I had a block sitting up there to keep the trailer park managers off my back, so it looked level, but otherwise when I had it here for like 2 weeks, it was like on the ground. As you can see how far up the wheel went into the car. Kind of feels like the alignment's off. And we're off. Seems to be shifting fine. Definitely need to finish getting our suspension on and get this thing in for an alignment. You know, I actually haven't had this thing running for more than like 4 minutes, so I have no idea if this thing's gonna overheat. So maybe I'm not gonna venture too far out in the country. I got a couple people. Enjoy the scenery. So I don't know if it's gonna show up on the camera, but somebody built a snowman on the side of the road, kinda in the middle of nowhere. Alright, stop sign, let's do an acceleration again. I do not have it floored, by the way. Shifts are on point. Motor feels good, which, I mean, we're at 81,000 miles, so it should be. I did notice that the Carfax hasn't really shown much for the last owner, but the owner before that was the original purchaser and had it for 20 years, and the first like 60,000 miles, so they're from Illinois. So there you have it. I made it back to the trailer court, so hopefully it continues to run when I pull in, unlike the last Mercedes that I went for a joyride in. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. We need to source our front end parts, and we need to get the rest of the suspension straightened out. But before we do that, we need to get my tow vehicle fixed. I bought a truck, and this is the tow vehicle. Reverse is out on this thing, but it runs and drives great. This is why it's parked weird, because I can't put it in reverse, so I have to get it so I can drive out. Hopefully it makes it. Typical rust, but we need to get this finished before we start tackling any other cars. And with that, I am finished. Thanks guys for watching, and remember to keep making financial mistakes. Time to warm up. The sun's gone. It's too cold for the